The next game that we were covering here is featuring Texas and Mississippi State. The Bulldogs are traveling to Austin, DKR, to face Texas. Texas's first SEC in-conference matchup in history. Welcome to the new SEC, Texas. And this game, is I think a battle of polar opposites. Texas is the number one team in the country according to the AP. Their statistics lend it to being number one, and we'll go over that. And they have two quarterbacks that are significantly better than any quarterback that's on staff over at Mississippi State right now.
Yeah, either quarterback here can get it done, right? Like it's looking like Manning is going to be the guy to start this game. Let Ewers rest. Don't want to hate too much on Mississippi State, but it looks like either quarterback that you have could come in here and play. So why rush a guy on injury? Manning did make some mistakes last week. He had 2 interceptions to match his 2 touchdowns. But when you're playing a team like this, the Mississippi State defense isn't stingy at all. Like they're having trouble with the turnover battle. They're not really able to get home and get sacks. They only have 4 on the year so far. And if you're Texas, you just have too many weapons, I think, to attack this Mississippi State defense. You have the running backs that are doing well, that committee there with Jared Gibson and Jaden Blue. It's too much offensively for Texas. Like there's too much there for Mississippi State to stop. Also with question marks right now at Mississippi State on who you have at quarterback. It's looking like Van Buren Jr. is going to be the starter for this week with Blake Shapen out for the season.
Yeah, and we talked about it last episode. At least really unfortunate what happened with Blake Shapen in his shoulder, but you get to see what Michael Van Buren Jr. can do for you, true freshman. Kind of see if he's the guy to build on in the quarterback room. And I'm a believer in giving players grace, right? I know in this portal era, you give them a year, it's like if they're not good enough, find someone else. But he's a true freshman, high 3-star. A little bit of research on him. I mean, he had offers from Maryland, Alabama, Arizona, Miami. So this guy's a legitimate good quarterback according to his high school rankings, which is mostly what we can go off of. Those type of schools aren't offering you if you're not a legit high 3-star. He's from Maryland, so this should be a fun starting debut for him. Exciting. I'm sure his family is going to come and support him. Where we'd like to see some more for Mississippi State to build upon is that rushing game. Johnny Daniels got involved last week. Was able to get a touchdown, and they had a couple rushing touchdowns in the season. Three touchdowns across the rushing attack last week, but Johnny Daniels led the way. He's only at 158 yards this year, and on average, Texas is giving up about 94 rushing yards a game. So that's not their number one defensive statistic. So this could lend to an opportunity for Mississippi State to establish the run early on to try to control the pace of the game.
Yeah, and anything that you're looking at for Mississippi State to maybe do to win this game, it's going to have to be either an improvement or something drastically different than they've shown us so far. So we're going to need to see either better, running back play. We know that they have the skill, but they're running behind an O-line right now that's not really good at pass protecting. They're not really good at opening holes for the run game. You have all this talent around them, and they're not able to do it because of the line. And I think that's going to be a tough test for Van Buren Jr. this week, is not being able to go through his progression against this Texas defense, find himself in the dirt a little bit. Blake Shapen was under pressure constantly when he was there, and still made things happen, but he has that tenure, that leadership capability to do it.
Yeah.
For this offense, for Mississippi State, I'm going to need to see maybe, some run after catch, giving him opportunities at quarterback to get some easy yards early, get Kevin Coleman Jr. involved. We know he's a big playmaker. Get him the ball out wide, let him make plays with his feet. Don't force your young quarterback to be a game breaker, to be that guy that
this isn't the game
shreds
for
his
that.
Defense.
This is not the game for that.
No, I mean, the Texas DBs are on right now. Like Jahdae Barron only giving up 34 yards in 4 games on 11 targets. Like Malik Muhammad, Michael Taft, like they're killing it on a DB level, and you're not going to shred them in this game.
And this is definitely not their biggest passing test. I mean, Michigan was not a huge passing test, and Colorado State was supposed to. That really wasn't, right? Texas, I'm giving more credit to their defense, but some of these teams offensively have not shown us a lot this season. Mississippi State was one of those teams that had shown us a good amount this season, but we're covering Michael Van Buren given the news of the starting quarterback. On the offensive side for Texas, I mean, it's their world, right? 511 yards a game on offense, 4th in the conference, 321 yards in the game, passing wise, it's 2nd in the conference. And like you said, whether it's going to be Quinn Ewers Arch Manning, Arch Madness, they can take care of business. Really they've only played again one P4, but Mississippi State's not playing like a Power 4 team on defense. So I would expect, I think Texas has like 3 receivers in the top 15 in terms of, scoring for the SEC. When you look at Isaiah Bond, you look at Matthew Golden, and you look at Wingo as well. So it's going to be a tough one for Mississippi State, I would say.
And I don't want to count out Mississippi State. I'm looking at Texas, what they are probably looking in this game to, I don't want to say use it as a learning block and work some things around, because they do have a bye week and then they play Oklahoma, which is a much stingier defense. Arch Manning with the 2 interceptions against UL Monroe. If something like that happens here, Quinn Ewers might not be 100% ready to go in that game.
Right.
So from Texas, I want to see that additional development, because you do have harder defenses coming. So work the ball around, find some, get polished in a game like this. For Mississippi State, I think to win this game, they're 38.5 point dogs right now. For Mississippi State to have a chance to win this game, what the player I want to watch is Brandon Jennings there on the edge. He's going to need to get home multiple times, put pressure on Arch. Right now, Arch Manning is only 30% when he's under pressure. He's been pressured 10 times, only had 3 completions there. If you can put pressure on him, he's a great player. But
of course,
people sometimes don't operate well under pressure, and he's one of those, at least at this point in the season. So, if the defense can get pressure on him offensively, you can protect your young quarterback and let him maybe find some confidence in this game, then you have a chance to perform at least decently in the game and not get blown out. Texas, I think you just go out and play your game, right? I think that's the key is just having too many weapons offensively.
Yeah, and those weapons, include Jaden Blue at running back, and of course all the passing receivers that we had talked about a little bit earlier. It's going to pair well against this defense. I don't see how Texas doesn't put up more than 35 points. Mississippi State's defense is averaging giving up 30.8 yards a game, and they're 7th to last in passing yards per game, and so that just lends to Texas's offense doing well. But if Mississippi State shows us some new things, could be a different game. We'll see here. Hunter, what were you saying was the kind of the over under in the spread for this game?
Yeah, so the spread's 38.5, Texas favorites right now, 61.5 on the game. Right now, Texas only giving up 5.5 per game. I think Mississippi State sits right there at it in this game. Mississippi State's 6. I think Texas gets about 48 here, and doesn't go over, but Texas covers.
Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna say Texas, wins this game 42-14. So that's
Okay.
not the over, but close.
All right. Well, you're trusting Mississippi State to get down there, score a couple touchdowns. You mentioned the quarterback, former Oregon commit, wanted to go play for Jeff Lebby, believes in the playmaking abilities and play calling abilities down there. We'll see if he can make something happen.